Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I'm Sue Kremer. Today let's talk about punches. You can see I have a few here to share with you. Let's find myself on my tablet so that I can interact with you. That's half the fun of doing these lives. So how is everybody today? Let me know that you're watching. All right. Let's get the comments going on there. Okay, so I am a few places on the internet. I will, if this video goes well, I'll post it to YouTube. If it doesn't go well, I will re-record it and get it on YouTube as soon as possible. I did re-record one of our recent ones. I don't know if you saw it on YouTube or not. I am on Pinterest. I don't have a lot there yet. Of course, I'm on Facebook. I have a blog through These Are My Stamps, and of course you can order from northstarstamper.stampinup.net. And if you haven't been there lately, we have a new website for ordering. The pictures are very large, so when you're on a computer, the pictures are like 6x6 or 4x4. They're huge. But then you can see the details of what it is that you're going to purchase. So I'm still getting used to it. There's a lot of search and filter features, and there's feedback. If you ever have trouble with the website when you're ordering, they want to know about it because, oh, sorry, I bumped the tripod. They want to know about it because it is new. I guess other markets have been using it since June. It just went live for us last Tuesday. So punches. Let's talk about punches. And if you've been in my craft area, you know that I love punches. I use them on almost every project. I probably use punches more than I use my die cut machine. So to store my punches, because I do have a dedicated craft area, I have towel rods attached to my wall, and then I leave these open, and then they just fit along my towel rod, and each towel rod can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I have 6 rods, so you know that I have a lot of punches. I don't have all of them though, surprisingly. So that's storage. Let us know how you store your punches. If you do have a dedicated craft space, let us know. And if you don't, do you keep them in bins? Do you use them if they're in bins? A lot of times for me, it's out of sight, out of mind, which is not good because I have a lot of stuff that I should be using. So I have a punch here, and we don't sell this one anymore, but it is a 1 3/4 punch. And I want to talk about care for your punches. So I punched this out of very vanilla, and I don't know if you can see right here and over on that side, it's not exactly a perfect circle. It is kind of has rough edges. So we're going to try some things to get this to punch better. So we can use, these are right from my kitchen. Hello, thank you for joining me. Wax paper, and if you know something different, please always share. I can only share what I know, and I know you know things that I don't. So I'm all about sharing. So wax paper, I'm told, will lubricate the punch if it's not punching well, and aluminum foil will sharpen the edge if you're not getting a good punch. So we're going to use a little piece of both, and then I will re-punch, and we'll see. Sorry for the noise. See if that helps. So I'm just going to take a little piece of each. I need my trash bin. Get my trash bin. So I'm just going to take my punch. We're going to start, let's start with the aluminum foil. And I'm just going to put it in like I'm going to punch the aluminum foil. This is very thin, so it isn't, oh, I did punch. And it just makes a mess. You can also, excuse me, fold this in half. We'll just punch a few times. Do you have a punch that you use a lot? I have a punch that I use a lot, and I have a card to show you. And then we're going to make a card using mostly punches today. Something else you can do with your punches is called punch art. And that's when you just use the shapes, and just throw those away. You just use the shapes of your punches to be the shape of something else. So that was the aluminum. Now this is just wax paper. See, that one doesn't. I'm going to turn it over. not punching all the way through, but that's probably okay. I haven't done this in a while. All right, now I need a piece of cardstock or something. What do I have here? Hold on. And cardstock. Punches are in a rolling cart from Michael's. Oh, that's good, Anne. So you can move them around with you and they're out where you can see them. All right, so now we're going to punch. Let's see if it made a difference. That's more round. There's still a little bit right there. I'm going to try it one more time real quick. And I'm thinking of getting one of those rolling carts for my new die cut and emboss machines. I think they have a bigger cart at Michael's that we can, so I'm hoping that it'll be big enough for all my dies and embossing folders. Get rid of that. Oh, I threw the aluminum or the wax paper away. One more time. Hopefully this will work. Let's punch again. Much better, much better. So I don't know if you can tell the difference between that one, and that one. Sorry, I should keep in camera. So right there was one spot. There is a little bit. And that one is a tiny bit right there. But it would be good enough for my handmade cards. So that is how I maintain my punches. I probably have, you know, I have over 60 punches. And most of them I've never had to do that to. I find that the ones I use the most, I have an oval one that doesn't punch real well. It's long since retired. And the circles I do use a lot. The next punch, and I know you've seen me use this one. And if you have your catalog, can you look this one up? I can't remember. Alma says she uses a towel rack. Yep. Let's see. Hello everybody. Thank you for watching. All right. Moving on. Now we're going to talk about double punching. So I'm sure you've seen me do this. You can see I marked on here that 1 7/16, and that's how wide that is. And I'll show you in a minute why I have that on there. So you can punch once. And to double punch, you just take the same punch and you feed it in from the side. And line it up and punch a second time, and now you have a new shape. Let me punch this again to show you what the full punch looks like. Maybe you need some white paper behind that. On the purple and the blue doesn't work so well. So there's our first shape, and there's our second shape. I have a card here where the sentiment, thinking of you. This is from my new favorite set called, sorry for the reach, Framed for You. This is a $1 million sales, and I believe the lady who helped design this, because she sold $1 million of Stampin' Up! Product, is from Minnesota. I believe this is Terry Gaines. Again, yeah, it even says that right on the side. $1 million sales achiever, Terry Gaines. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. So to create this out of this, I obviously, or did I think I punched first. If I'm using punches for a sentiment, I almost always stamp first, and then I can line it up where I want it to be. So to make this one, I cut from this corner. Let me get my take a pick tool. I cut from this corner to this corner. And I know my quilters don't like it when I say just eyeball it, but I just eyeballed it corner to corner. So I trim those off, and there's a new shape. So there we have a few there. Now let's say this punch, is not big enough. I want it longer. Say I have a really long sentiment, and I don't have stamps handy today. Sorry if the video gets bad. So I measured the distance of these between these two straight lines, and it's 1 6/17. So just under 1.5 inches. So I'm going to cut a long piece that's just under 1.5 inches wide, and then I can punch both ends of this. Again, the trick is to go in from the side and then pull it up. I'll show you that again. Then make sure it's not too crooked. So I'm lining up the lines, the edges along the punch. There's one end, and go in from the side. No, the other way. Go in from the side, and then I don't want to punch this end, so I'm going to pull it outside the punch. Again, I don't want to make sure this is lined up straight. And that piece is stuck. So that's what I punched off, the ends. And there I have a really long one. You could obviously make it as long or as short as you need, but this is our original punch, and there's 3 ideas. Oh, sorry, I need to get back in the camera. There's 3 ideas using this punch. Get rid of those. So this is the original. This I just trimmed, you know, the top and bottom here. This one I double punched, and this one I started with a piece that was just wide enough and could punch it that way. You could layer it that way. Now I have another punch you've seen me layer a lot. Let's see what we can do with this one, layering. Let's get another piece. We'll use this. Just gonna punch and show you, oh, there we go. One way we can layer. So I punched a second time, and I want to layer behind it because I don't have a bigger punch to put a layer behind my purple. So you can trim this in half and get some adhesive. Adhesive bucket. Put some adhesive on each of these. I think this is Mango Melody. These are going to look like Vikings colors. And then I can make sure I'm in the view. So I made sure my edges were straight. Here, I'll put this one, I'll show you up close. And there, using one punch, I can create a layer using 2 different colors. So there's lots of ideas. You've seen me do that same thing with this punch. I'll stamp a sentiment, punch it once, punch in a second coordinating color, and then I like to cut it down the middle, and then I get that kind of effect with that. So that's what I call double punching, is when you punch a second time like this to make it different. This one, I don't know what it's called. Another thing that is fun to do, and why I have so many punches, is punch art. So here's a very old card. I don't know even know how old it is. I don't think I even made this one. So this person used scallop circle punch, a scallop circle punch, to make sunflowers, just based on the colors, and then they did some little trimming there, to make it look more like a flower. I wish it were a little more 3D. I haven't done any punch art in a while. I think it'd be kind of fun to do. I used to do a lot of it. Maybe it's time to get back into it. All right, thank you, Anne. Everyday Label. That's what this one was called. Everyday Label. And that one's been around a while. All right, let's make a card. Any questions about punches? Do you have a favorite punch? I'm curious. So this card, I just use a scrap and put the layer behind it. So this one this is a new stamp set for me called My Meadow, I believe. Yes. I just got it a couple weeks ago, so I had fun playing with it. That's actually the same stamp from My Meadow. Actually, 2 stamps. It's the flowers and the leaves are separate. So I was trying to create this, and I didn't really like how the water stamped on this one. I want to keep looking at comments. Because this was going to be part of a card, but I didn't like how that stamped. So I decided to die cut it. I happen to use a die cut. I could have used a punch if I wanted it smaller, but I don't have a punch this big. So if you're, my point is, if you're stamping and things don't stamp quite the way you want them to, don't throw them away. Try to use the bits and pieces that you do like on them. So that was what that was all about. And if you have been with me for a while, a few weeks ago, we talked about paper. Let me find my paper. Let's get some of this out of the way. Sorry. Here it is. Remember we were talking about paper, and I did this watercolor wash on just regular cardstock, and I said, oh, I'll probably punch that out and use it for something else. So that's what we're going to use today. Instead of throwing away this piece of cardstock, we are going to use the Sprig Punch to punch it out and add it to our card. So I can decide where, looking at the color on there, do I want it all? Do I want it light? Just going to punch a few times. So this way, nothing goes to waste. Turn it around. Let me get some different colors. All right, 3 is always a good number. Now that becomes scrap. Make sure I'm cleaned up here. All right, so there's one punch. I have some scraps here. I assume this is 2 inches wide. So do you have a favorite punch? I'm very, very curious. Let me know. Excuse me. Yes, this is 2 inches wide. So you've seen me with my one sheet wonders doing 2-inch wide, and how long was it? Sorry. 5 1/4. So it'll give us a little border on our card. And this is an old embossing folder. I just found this scrap. It's dots. I thought that'd be kind of fun to use. And I think we're gonna try this. My tailored tag punch for our focal point. I believe this is gray granite. I thought that went really well with the wood green. And I have Pear Pizzazz cardstock. I already cut in half, so I just needed to fold it to make our card base. What I was thinking we'd do is layer this. I'm going to move it down a little bit and then put a sentiment up there. And then put some sprigs, and then I'm going to punch a vase. We'll leave that there so you can see. Where did my vase punch go? So we're going to use this. I don't think we have a stamp set that coordinates with this right now, but that's okay. We can use pattern paper. We can make a blue vase. When I was playing around with looking at deciding what to do this afternoon, I have some, I was just stamping away and I didn't get them done. That one's, that one I kind of misstamped on it. So we're going to use this one. So rather than throwing this away, we're going to see what it looks like. Yeah, I think I was playing around. I think I liked it this way. So now look at those. Just look at this punch. So that vase, or this vase, that'd be kind of pretty. Let's punch those. Let's punch it. Ah, dropped it. Sorry, I'll try not to jiggle the tripod. Everyday label slot, or a 2-inch circle, or the cat or the dog. Anne, I don't have the cat or the dog. Isn't that kind of funny? Not really. I'm not an animal person. I'm sorry to say that. I know a lot of you love your animals and they're family to you. So there. Just out of that, I kind of like that one. Well, that one's different. I like those two. I won't throw these away. We'll make some more cards later. So we'll use kind of like that. Oh, those sprigs are way too big, aren't they? So we're just going to use one sprig. See, I've got more pieces to more cards. We're going to cut this down. See, I didn't plan ahead. This is why I get nervous before videos sometimes, because I don't know exactly what I'm doing. We'll adhere it in a minute using glue dots for our pieces. And I do have maybe one more sprig. Where'd the other one go? Sorry, I should do it on camera. Make sure I'm on camera. Oh. So there's that. And then I have another new stamp set. This one called Basket of Blooms. And this punch is now currently available in the annual catalog. It was part, sorry, I don't know if you can see. There you go. It was part of Celebration last year? This January, February, March? I don't know. It was part of Celebration, so I earned it for making a purchase. But now that we have this stamp set that coordinates with it. So what color I have? Let's use Highland Heather on, I just have some white. And we are gonna stamp, I guess. I guess. No, Anne, I don't want a cat. Tony's allergic. Or at least he used to be. We tell the kids he is. And my kids all love animals and want one. Photopolymer stamp set. I'm gonna bring down my Stampin' Pierce mat. Sorry, nothing fancy there. It was just one stamp using Highland Heather on Whisper White cardstock. So I stamp first. Now I'm going to line it up. And let's see. You know what? There we go. So I'm going to line it up, taking my time to make sure it's all lined up. And I'm going to punch. Alright, let's get our card back. Get some adhesives and get the card put together, but I do like sentiments on my cards. This stamp set doesn't have any sentiments, but this one does. I've been using this Thinking of You for a lot of my cards lately. So I'm gonna put that on a block. And I have some early espresso. And you can bring me a punched cat. How's that? I don't want a real one. You can bring me a punched one. Here's our pieces. Let's put our card together and then we're done. So, ooh, which side do we want? The dark side? Yeah, the light side. And you can bring me punched cats and dogs. How's that? Not real ones. Next month when I meet you in Tennessee for a wedding. Alright, so punches. I think we'll do some punch art soon. I'm going to put this off to the side because I do want my sentiment. And I'm just using our new seal adhesive. Put that towards the bottom. Alright, I'm going to use some glue dots. Excuse me. I'm going to put a glue dot on the front of this sprig. I just push it on there and then it got stuck to my thumb. Here we go. And that way I can put it right behind our vase. Oh, I need to trim that. We're not going to have that coming out of the side of the vase, so I'm going to trim that down. There we go. And one more. And then we'll just put our flower on top of that. So I'm going to pick that glue dot up. Make it come out of the top of the vase, like that. More glue dots on here. What's everybody's weather like? We had storms last night and it really cooled down this afternoon. It's very nice. And where did our flower go? We're going to put that on a dimensional. Pop it up a little bit, add some interest to our card. Let's see, how about there? I don't know. I'm going to stamp Thinking of You in early espresso, and hopefully I won't. Perfect. There we go. There's a card. So I stamped the flower and I stamped the sentiment. Other than that, it's all punches. So use your punches. They're fun to create quickly with. We have a wide variety. Anne has talked about the cat and the dog. Sorry if you're watching on YouTube, you don't get to see our comments from Facebook. What was I saying? Oh, we have it's an apple or a pumpkin if you're making fall cards. What else do we have? We have the vases. We have lots of different shapes. I don't know. What else do we have? Flowers, balloons, a moose. Oh, the moose is really fun. He was in last fall and they brought him back again this fall. So, punches. Any other questions? Thank you, Alma. There's our card for today. I'll get that out of the way. Get that out of the way. I know it's distracting when there's all that stuff. Thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. And if you need to buy any punches, Stampin' Up! Has a lot to offer. And we keep changing them all the time, which is why I keep buying them. NorthStarStamper.StampinUp.net. Thanks for joining me. And next week, I don't have a plan. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Maybe we'll just do punch art, or let's talk about something else. Maybe we'll talk about the Stamparatus. I haven't used that with you in a while. So, heart punches, yes, they're very good. You can do lots of things with hearts. You can make clovers. Oh, I could talk about punches all night. So I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for joining me. Happy stamping.